What up, it's Casper. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the movie The Town. So let's get straight to it. The movie The Town is a 2010 movie. It's rated R and it's 2 hours and 5 minutes. Directed by Ben Affleck. Starred by Ben Affleck, Rebecca Hall, John Hamm, Jeremy Renner, Blake Lively. Mad props to Ben Affleck being able to be a director and be a main actor in this movie. The movie The Town is actually from a novel called Prince of Thieves. This movie was originally supposed to be 4 hours, but the version I ended up seeing was the theater version, I would say, but there's an extended cut version which I really want to see. So this movie's about a group of thieves who rob a bank and they actually hold a hostage. The hostage character name is Claire. She's the assistant manager. So this is a group of thieves who all know each other, and while they're gonna end up doing more missions, things take a turn because one of the thieves of the group falls in love with the assistant manager, the hostage. Performances in the movie: Ben Affleck, crazy character. I'm very impressed with his whole acting in general. He plays the character Doug. Doug has a crazy background because he's trying to figure out like what happened during his childhood. Lines in this movie were insane, and that's why good acting with Ben Affleck, because I'm pretty sure reading the script you'd be like, yo, this is pretty good. Crazy scenes with him interacting with Claire, crazy scenes him interacting with his childhood friend James, who's played by Jeremy Renner. Character Doug, you feel for the dude sometimes because he's just trying to leave that town. He's very good at his job and he understands what to do. That whole character in general was presented very well. Very stealth mode. Some moments where he was just very straight faced, but those straight face moments, fit very well. And there's moments in here where his character opens up. Like, I did like the interaction with Claire. They both helped each other out in some way. Like Claire, if she never was hostage, I feel like she would just be on her toes, independent, doing her own thing, a lot of standards if she's meeting a dude. And then meeting Doug, surprised her and then opened like a sweet side to her. The interaction between both Doug and Claire were great because it showed sweet sides, and then when they weren't with each other, it showed like on their mission type of stuff. But Doug, very insane. I think the whole progression on seeing where he was in the beginning on just straight robbing the bank, him interacting with the character James on telling him like, hey, this might be the last one, interacting with the flower boss, interacting with his dad from jail, very insane. Straight focused and just straight being into this role in this world. Very good job with Ben Affleck. Rebecca Hall, she plays the character Claire. Good flow with her, because with her you see that she does have like her own life besides working at the bank. In many moments in this movie she does like being by herself and she's in her mind, but when she starts interacting with more characters like Doug, you see her start to open up a little bit more. Her character when she starts dealing with the FBI is absolutely insane, because you see the side that she was with Doug, and then you can see how like when she's still trying to be sweet with Doug, like it still sounded like fake. Showed her side of her still being like an independent person. Her standard wasn't met. But in this movie it makes sense because Claire felt like she was lied to, and she didn't even know that Doug was one of those robbers or thieves. So you could see a lot of perspective in this movie on why characters act the way they are. Overall, Rebecca Hall as being the character Claire, I thought it was projected very well and it felt real. All these actors acting is super well done. Jeremy Renner plays the character James Coughlin. That character was a standout. He's fresh and very cool as well, but he's also like a psycho. Meeting with Doug in this movie, there's a crazy scene where Doug is having like a little mini date, but just having like a little brunch type thing with Claire. Out of nowhere shows up James. More information Doug finds out from Claire. He's like, oh man, I can't tell none of the homies. When James' character shows up, that was an intense scene. Him sitting down right there, I was like, yo, this is crazy detail. Like, this dude is insane. Camera direction was crazy right there too, so shout out to that. A lot of anxiety was building up in that scene. I was like, bro, what's gonna about to happen? Jeremy Renner, huge standout in this movie. I mean, I don't know who else could have done a very good role besides Jeremy, but hearing like Matt Damon was considered, like I said, he's like a psycho in this movie, just trying to get the job done, but very clean. And the progression is just very smooth with his character on them robbing the bank. Like the posture, everything was on point. So Jeremy did a good job as well. While these bank robbers are doing their thing, there's also the FBI looking at them. John Hamm, he plays the character FBI agent Adam Farley. Presentation of FBI was shown. There's many moments in this movie where like, man, these thieves are on point. They're clean. Their timing is great. Everything is thought of before going into the mission. So like, how is this FBI agent gonna take him down. It ends up getting to a point where this Adam Farley FBI agent dude is like, I've had enough. Very on point. The lines of him telling him like, let's get the smallest detail of DNA. Let's just bring it into the lab. Like, let's get anything that we can get as evidence and trying to frame these dudes, because he's doing his investigation on trying to get these thieves down. Like, you can see him putting all the pieces together, but he just needs that break. And in this movie, you can feel that, you know, Adam was like holding up so much, you know. And throughout the movie, there's a scene where he's so confused on what's going on. These thieves are dressed as paramedics, now cops. Like, he's going back and forth. I'm all thinking like, who can catch up this quick mentally with this type of progression? Man, the way he ended up clicking is like, yo, this is this is that. I'm like, oh, damn, this is getting intense. So that's why I'm like, the presentation was great. Well done acting. Flower owner boss, he did have the look of just being that low-key, let me own this shop, but I'm also doing like mafia crime stuff on the low. There's crazy stories with each character. And the way this movie flowed is like, damn, there's 4 hours of this, like, bro, and we saw a lot of good stuff in just this 2 hours. So the florist dude, his name Fergus, there's a crazy twist with him. Ends up telling a crazy story about how Doug's dad is also kind of doing the same thing but working for the flower dude. So that was a crazy story. And Doug's dad in this movie, him being in jail, aside of the movie, we're just like, whoa, this movie's feeding us a lot of perspective. That interaction was crazy. Doug is just trying to figure it out, trying to leave. And then you got his dad right here just basically like, you're not leaving because you want to leave. Something's happening and you want to know what's happening to his mom. Crazy story. Very, very insane. The opening scene when they're robbing the bank, the anticipation of it going down was going to be real. This movie is really good on building up anxiety. This movie is really good on showing like, oh man, this character sees what's going on. That's kind of sad. The whole 2 hours and 5 minutes, so worth it. The ending, I wish it ended a little bit different, because I feel like the ending was kind of like a little fall off. Even though it was kind of a happy ending, I still want to know what else happened. I feel like there's a lot more that needed to be shown. This movie was flowing so well. There's moments in this movie for me where I'm like, yo, this scene is intense. The shootout's intense. I don't see this movie ending anytime soon. So I feel like the ending was a little rushed. The locations for the movie and the way they shot it were really on point. They filmed at Fenway Park. That was crazy to see how Fenway Park looks in certain angles. That scene was super intense. The shootout was dope. The costume design on how these thieves came up with their look to enter and rob stuff, I thought that was interesting. The whole movie is super worth it. The directing's on point. The acting is well done. Everything is fantastic in senses of like seeing the scenery. The dialogue is great. I really like seeing every perspective, to seeing the perspective of seeing thieves rob a bank, and then seeing the perspective on how FBI just trying to get these thieves off the streets. If I didn't mention it as well, this movie takes place in Boston. I really recommend this film, even though it doesn't end the most perfect way. I still recommend this film because this movie had a lot of amazing stuff, especially if you're into like action, crime, and thriller. This is your type of movie for sure. After my watching The Town, out of 10, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10. That's my movie review for the movie The Town. Shout out to you guys for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.